Satnam and welcome back to the channel. My name is Gobind and this is your channel for grace. Thank you guys so much for being here live, and thank you to those of you watching the replay, and welcome to our Pisces full moon total lunar eclipse astrology, human design, and gene keys analysis. So that's what we're going to do today. I will show you the chart. I'm going to talk about all the ruling energies. I'll share with you a channeled message that I wrote in my book, Seasons and Stargates, and 2025, 2026. And we're also going to talk about, dive deep into the actual gene key that this full moon eclipse lands on, and the gates in the human design, and I'll show you everything on the screen. So I love these broadcasts. We have so much fun exploring, and you guys know that I love using all the modalities because it gives us a more complete perspective of one thing, like 3 different languages to tell us something about this, you know, amazing astrological event that's going to be going on. So super excited. Before we dive in, let me say hi to everybody that's here. Hello, Diane. Welcome in. She says she's ready for some Pisces full moon eclipse. Hello, Linda. Welcome in. Hello, Kevin. Hello, Stick and Stones. If you are here watching live, make sure to say hi in the chat. I love the live interaction. Also, I want to say thank you to all new subscribers. If you haven't subscribed yet, make sure to subscribe. Hit the notification bell so you get notified when I go live, when I upload videos. I am going to be uploading a really awesome video for the eclipse that I did with Robert Comer. We actually analyzed Leonardo da Vinci's charts and his star codons. And we did a whole broadcast about it, and I'm really excited to launch it. I wanted to launch it on the eclipse, so it'll be coming out on Sunday. So make sure you look out for that. I'll be uploading it here, but also on the podcast, Channel for Grace Uncut Podcast. Hey, Shannon, welcome in. Hey, Robin. Hey, MJ. Thank you guys for being here. Good to see you. Also, make sure you download my free moon astrology guide. It will tell you what your psychic gifts are based off of your moon sign. It also enters you into my email list, and I send out a weekly moon magic report. We also have a free private community held on Mighty Networks. It's called the Global Community. Our network is called Channel for Grace, of course. You are more than welcome to join. And we're also very excited right now. We're currently running a free mini course called Sacred Coordinates, the Map, in which we are discussing what it means to know who you are. You know, what are some important key points about your individual soul's blueprint that we feel are really important to know. And when I say we, I mean me and Ashley, who have created this course together and are teaching it together. We're also going to talk about embodiment, integrating the practices, you know, our story, share our stories of healing and what has worked, what hasn't worked, you know, timing, all of that. And then we're going to share with you at the end, hey Dawn, at the end of the mini course, a very special program that we have designed called Aligned by Design that we're going to be launching right once the class is over. So we can't wait to share all of those details with you, but we have designed a program that's basically going to help you know what are the steps. That's why we call it the map. What are the steps that we feel will most powerfully and like quantumly take you into a place where you actually want to be in your life. Hello, Shala, welcome in. So all these things are so exciting. Also, I am affiliated with Christopher Witecki now, and so I am also promoting his course, Step Astrology, which I am currently taking. It's amazing. We're learning all about the degrees, which again, I've also said I feel is the piece of astrology that is missing. And he's giving it life, like major life. And so I'm so excited to begin to incorporate that. Of course, I'm just now diving into this world, so it's new and I'm taking it all in right now. But there's a coupon if you want to sign up through the link in the description for the class. We just completed part A and we're going to start part B. There's a personal level and there's a professional level. You can do both or just one. And essentially, what you're going to learn in the personal is all about yourself, how to apply the steps to your chart. And then it's all about manifesting too, because the steps are like manifestation steps. So you get to learn how it really works, manifesting works, at the same time that you're learning about all this astrology. I mean, it's like freaking jam-packed, but it's amazing. So come join us. You can watch the replays because we're taking a little break right now. So you can watch replays of the last kind of 5 weeks that we've been doing. And then we're going to start again in a couple of weeks. So I love it. I love learning. And you guys know, like, that's my jam. So I have to share with you guys because I'm really excited about this new adventure. So let's dive into the content of this video. I'm going to do a screen share. And in this screen share, what you are essentially looking at is the ruling energies of this full moon total lunar eclipse in Pisces. It's happening this weekend, September 7th at 15 degrees, 22 minutes of Pisces, activates Pegasus and Ursa Major stargates, which Pegasus is about like literally bringing heaven on earth. He's the winged horse that takes us up to heaven, shows us the bigger vision, the bigger picture. Ursa Major is pure light energy. And really, it's about purification, purifying our soul at a soul level. It's about also resting in that clarity and essentially self-care, but like it's not really doing anything. I'm just like purifying the energy and letting the clearing just fully happen as you bask in the light. pretty amazing, if you ask me. This eclipse is on activating the chakra above the head. So not the crown, but the one above that, which is all about our connection to the source. It's like that's where the life force energy comes in. And it's actually also happening in the head center in human design. So there's a lot of like up here energy. It's like bringing it in from the divine, because the chakra above the head is the inhale that inhales its spirit. It's the spirit part of spirit descending into matter. So it's the spiritual energy that gets downloaded or channeled through us, but essentially it's our oversoul also that descends into matter. And in matter, we look back up and we go, oh, we want to go back to spirit. So that's our journey here on earth. We want to go back to spirit. But in the meantime, we got to learn all these lessons. So all these transits are always affecting us. So this full moon eclipse is landing on a gene key, on a gate. It's actually the 63rd. And it's on the 5th line, which in the human design, the 5th line is all about, it's the heretic, but there's leadership energy to it. And in the gene keys, the 5th line is also about leadership and also about fixing. So it's like kind of stepping up, like responsibility, like know where you're at, know your worth, don't let people project onto you, know your value, stand firm in who you are and be a leader. That's literally what this like moon is, at a basic level, according to this line, inviting us into. We're going to read this description at the end. But for now, I would love for us... Oh, I didn't mention the circulatory system, which is the system of the body that works through this energy of Pisces. And it's literally like circulation of information. So you could think of it as like the body, the information circulates through our body. And if it ever gets stuck anywhere, there'll be like confusion. There'll be doubt. There'll be... like this, you won't be sure of things. And so you want the information to flow. You want it to flow. And it's like the water, right? It's like the blood, right? The circulatory system has to do with the blood. So it's like clean blood, anything you can do to like cleanse the blood, flow the energy, exercising. Those are all really good things to do when we are working with the circulatory system. Let's get that blood pumping. Okay. So what we're going to go to next is the actual astrology chart of this eclipse and take a look at, through the astrology lens, what are the major things that are happening. So you can see here that this eclipse is happening, 15 degrees, 22 minutes. Sun and moon are opposing. It's an eclipse because see how close it is to the nodes? When the sun and the moon are very close to the nodes, that's when you tend to have eclipses happen. But a full moon is essentially sun opposing the moon. Now, because this is a north node eclipse, that's the first place where we can look at, and this is a positive thing, because the north node is all about destiny, life path, mission, the future, our North Star, where we're going. It's definitely outside of our comfort zone. So we have to go and beyond our edge of comfort, our edge of knowing, into the unknown, stepping into the void, and let the information come to us and trust that it will come, like that when we jump into this void, that we will feel fully held. And then it's happening at exactly 15 degrees, which is exactly halfway through Virgo. So this is us reaching halfway through the soul surgery that I have been talking about. And the intricate workings of the energy of Virgo on us through this Virgo season that has been activated at 0 with the new moon in Virgo, halfway through at 15 with this eclipse, and will finish the activation at 29 with the next eclipse, which is with the south node. So it's a different vibe. So it's just deep karmic work, clearing through stuff, purification. It's a good thing. We're being guided with this one to focus on the future. So this eclipse is making a trine to Jupiter. Like, you can't have anything more beautiful, Jupiter is also sextiling, right? Sextiling and trining this eclipse. And, Jupiter brings in, auspiciousness, prosperity. In the gene keys, wherever Jupiter is in our chart is our pearl sphere. And this is literally how to activate prosperity. And right now, Jupiter in Cancer is prosperity comes through trusting your feelings. Prosperity comes through listening to your emotions. Prosperity comes through emotional intelligence. Prosperity comes through making sure that you're taking care of yourself, that you're nurturing yourself, that you know what home is, that you have a clear definition of home, family, and that you pay attention, and that you're aware and conscious of like how this like feminine goddess flow moves through you, because that's Cancer too. It's ruled by the moon, right? So it's like there's a bit of mutual reception right now with the moon, this eclipse, the moon in Pisces and Jupiter in Cancer, because they're in each other's signs. Jupiter rules Pisces too. So it's like a mutual reception. Like I see you and I feel you. It's definitely, I feel the energy supporting me at this time. And I know if I close my eyes and I just feel like the Scorpion, that I will know my truth. And truth is a big theme for this one, which we'll get into when we get to the Jinkies. But so that's one really beautiful thing. What else is going on during this eclipse? One really significant thing is Saturn right here. He recently went back, like literally a couple days ago, he went back into Pisces. He's retrograde. So he's at 29. That's the master number of Pisces, 29 degrees. It's a critical degree. It's the wisest known energy of Pisces, but we're revisiting because right now Saturn is going to be, and remember, he's the Lord of time and karma, and where you're dealing with eclipses, it's like you do have to look at where he doesn't rule eclipse energy, but he rules karma. So it's like wherever Saturn is if you're dealing with eclipses, that's where some karmic work is definitely happening. So we are currently revisiting themes of the last like about 3.5 years. You could say 3 years, because next year we're going to officially enter into the Aries energy, and he won't go back into Pisces again. So we're finishing a chapter. So that's really, it's strong. It's like the ultimate Akashic frequency. And that's the Pegasus Stargate right there. Saturn is on Pegasus. So heaven on earth right there. And remember that 29 is the place where the new moon solar eclipse is going to be happening in Virgo. So Saturn is going to be pretty much exactly opposing that eclipse. He's opposing that position where we'll see the next eclipse. So it's like sort of seeing into the future a little bit. It's kind of interesting when you look at all these little, intricate details. Neptune, so Neptune's at 1 degree, and then both Saturn and Neptune are sextiling Uranus, sextiling Pluto, and then Pluto and Uranus are actually making a trine to each other. So remember, sextiles and trines bring in harmonious energy. They tend to be a little bit more of easy flow instead of challenges and difficulties. So it's these outer freaking planets talking to each other like, let's create a new world. Uranus is 1 degree away. He's basically on the Pleiades still, 1 degree away. Now, all these planets are retrograde, which is interesting too to think about, because they are the ones that taking us through the inner workings. The retrogrades are the ones where we reflect, we go inside and we feel and we kind of sift around and we reflect, and then it's inner change that happens. And Pluto is on Altair. So we've got a lot of stargates that are activated by these outer planets, but essentially it's revolution. It's going deep within. It's, what's underneath the surface. It's initiation. It's the hero's journey. It's, heaven on earth. All of these things are calling us collectively because these are the outer planets. So it's a collective activation for sure. And then when we look at, let's jump on over to Venus up here. She's not really making, well, she is actually, no, she is. She's making an exact quincunx to the moon. And that is cool. She's the one that's on the Ursa Major, the Lia Quiche activation. Hi, Lisa. Hi, Raessa. And she is the one that's like inviting us to like rest in the light, the high vibrational light frequency, to purify us. This is the purification. Venus, through relationships, through our desires, through what we truly want, and through our values. We're purifying ourselves so that we get clear about what we want, what we desire, and what we value. And right now, value with Venus and Leo is all about the heart, being in your heart. Now, quincunx acts a little bit like a square where it brings a challenge, and there's always like some kind of a solution. This is not a yod, but it's bringing in like a communication between the moon and Venus, the eclipse and Venus. But she's holding that energy of Ursa Major. Then we look at the one actual aspect that is the real challenging one, and it is Mars over here making a square to Jupiter. And both of those planets are direct. So Mars is in Libra, which is in detriment. He doesn't like to be in Libra. So right now, we're both learning how to be patient. I'm sorry, that's too funny. And also learn to find balance and harmony and take into account, the other relationships. Harmony, like that's what Mars in Libra has to learn. It doesn't like that lesson, but it has to learn balance. The equal, like thinking about others, not just me, right? That's why it's like challenging. So Jupiter magnifies anything it touches. So a square is kind of like, I feel this is the boost. I feel like this is like, whoa, like intense energy, kind of like pushing forward. And it does feel a little bit electric to me, but it is like, over, like it's too much almost, but this is the energy. This is where we're feeling the tension. So drive, motivation, and then Jupiter just, an emotion. And so there's tension there. It's like, which way do you go? What do you do? Can I be patient enough? Am I learning my lesson? Am I trying to move too fast? Am I not being patient? That's the tension. And so it's the push to get us to actually land in the deeper knowing of our spirituality. Because if you think of this at a basic level, Pisces is our spirituality. It is our connection to God and the divine, and the North Node guiding us that way is like, let's go. We're going to heaven, you know? And then you have to channel it here. You have to bring it back because we're here in the third dimension. So if we're going to heaven, that means bringing heaven here, right? Mercury, let's talk about Mercury. Mercury is over here next to the sun. There's a little stellium in Virgo. That's the detail work. Our mind is going through the process of like understanding and putting things together, and like, you know, that's the soul surgery. Literally soul surgery, because sun is the soul, Virgo is the surgery, the eclipses are the surgery, but the Virgo season is the intricate detail work that we actually need to fully purify ourselves. So overall, I feel this is it's obviously a very powerful full moon. It's an eclipse. It's a total eclipse. And I think in Europe, you'll be able to see it. My mom's in Turkey right now. She'll be able to see this turn red. The moon turns red during eclipses, during lunar eclipses. And we've also got the Chiron theme, which is about healing ourselves and finding the courage to be ourselves and to trust that we know. So that's through the lens of the astrology. And if we hop on over to look at the human design, here's what we get. So this eclipse is happening on the 63rd gate, which is a gate in the head center. So the moon is on the 63rd and the sun is on the 64th. So they're both in the head. The head center in human design is the pressure to make sense of ourselves, is the pressure to make sense of our, you know, who we are, why we're here, our spirituality. It's like turns, you know, doubt and confusion into truth and imagination. And it is, you know, it's again, it's a higher mind. It's the higher mind. So when you're working with the mind in human design, you're dealing with the place that's not necessarily, nobody has mental authority. So the mind and thinking is a tool that can help us understand things, but it's better to stay with the questions than it is to find the answers. And I feel like that's one of the things that this moon is talking about. For example, the 63rd gate is called the gate of doubt. And the descriptive phrase for it is also after completion. People born with naturally skeptical minds. So I think we are naturally being skeptical right now, especially with Mercury in Virgo. That's a little bit of skepticism. That's like, I don't know about that. Where's the proof, you know? Or, let me figure this out. Let me go a little bit deeper. Let me do a little more research. I need to know, you know? I have to know. And it has to be very clear. It has to be laid out. There has to be order to this madness, right? So it is a little bit like we're being skeptical right now. Or maybe the moon is inviting us to be skeptical. This is what this is described as. This is the gate of questioning. Remember I said be with the questions, as well as the pressure of needing an answer. So it's like we need answers right now. These people can be suspicious and distrustful until they have questioned the logic of something for themselves. It is the insatiable pressure of the doubt in this gate that drives all scientific thought. Such people can be the source of much that is useful in the world. However, if this doubt is turned inwards on oneself, it is deeply disturbing. These people need to wait for the 4. So it's the 4 is talking about the other gate that connects to this gate in order to find a resolution to the doubt. Since the 4 comes up with the answer, which temporarily relieves the pressure on the 63rd. If you have a 63rd with no 4, which is essentially what we're experiencing with this eclipse, we carry questions that have no need of answering, that we don't have any need of answering. Our questions that we have right now are here to inspire rather than confuse. So, be with the questions. Now, the sun on the other side, this is also the understanding circuit. The 63 is the understanding circuit, which has to do with trying to make sense, like logical sense. Of course, something can make logical sense and be true, and then something can make no logical sense and also be true. The 64, the gate of confusion. So we have the gate of doubt and the gate of confusion. This is where the sun and the moon are at on this eclipse. This one is called before completion. People who are under constant mental pressure to make sense out of past issues or events. Now this one is sensing circuit. So we're learning both to understand, we're trying to understand, and we're trying to sense the meaning of something. But we have to wait until the experience is over in order to truly understand it. That's what sensing means. It's you wait for the clarity to come once the experience has fully completed itself. Now, this is different on this side. The sun has a different energy because the sun is actually connected to the south node here, who is on the 47, which is the gate of realization. People that always look to understand life by relating it to their own personal experience. So the sun and the south node are together for this eclipse. And so we're learning this, the channel of abstraction. Your mind can either be very inspiring for others or very confusing for you. This trick is to only use your mind to resolve issues that do not concern you directly. So everything that's happening with this eclipse is not about us. It's about sitting with the questions and like sharing what we think and feel. And it's more about inspiring others than it is about for ourselves, which is very interesting, right? This is what this channel is all about. These people are here to create something new out of something old. They bring abstract thought into the world through the arts, philosophy, history, culture. They reshape the past in different ways. For example, cultural revolutions. The confusion these people experience at the mental level forces them to process the past in new and creative ways. They need to accept confusion as part of their mental process. And if they're able to do so, they will always discover that things become clear in their own time. So this is the lesson, that things will become clear, but not right now. Later, not right now, but later. These kinds of abstract minds cannot solve their own problems. We can't solve our problems right now. That is not the point of what we're doing, but are good at telling stories and recreating experiences that will inspire others. Here we go again. Interestingly enough, I will share, just like Ressa, the 64 is my purpose sphere. So the sun is on my purpose and the moon is on my radiance. The moon, right, this eclipse will be on what keeps me healthy, my radiance. So you got to start looking at these numbers and see where are they at in my chart. But let's continue with this analysis, right? So essentially we have head and ajna defined, which can feel kind of heavy. Whenever I do readings for clients that have a defined head or defined ajna. I don't have a defined head, but I can feel the defined head is heavy sometimes, heavy with thought, heavy with thinking, and it weighs you down. It's like pressure. And defined head people can be very stubborn because they have their own set of looking at things and their own beliefs. And it's like, it's hard when you have these set beliefs to go outside of them, it's like harder to open up your mind. And it's nothing bad. It's like that was the design, but it feels heavy for me energetically because my head is undefined. So it's like I have this like inconsistent. So when someone else's pressure comes into me, I'm like, whoa, it's really intense. So this might be intense up here in the headspace is what I'm trying to say. There's something really cool though happening here in this chart, and it's this channel. This is really fucking cool. Okay, this channel is actually a channel called it's an integration channel, and the integration channels have everything to do with it's mystical. It's also about like just trusting your own knowing, trusting your own self. I'm trying to find this here. It might actually be individual circuitry. So I think it might be individual circuitry. But either way, it's right around this area where these integration channels are. So definitely part, yeah, it's integration. Okay. I mean, it's individual knowing circuit. But anyways, this energy itself, either way, is about following your intuition. Like legit intuition comes through expression. And it's not intuition that is you have to think about. This is not that. It comes from the spleen. It is like it comes through before you can think or feel anything. Boom, there it is. And it's Mars and Uranus, which is even crazier. So Mars is on the 57, which he's the one that's making, remember he's making the square to Jupiter, and he's the one that's creating the tension. So 57. And then the 20, Uranus. Like, whoa. So what does this actually mean? 57th gate is the gate of intuitive clarity. It's called the gentle. Okay? So you need to be gentle with yourself. I'm just kidding. The 20th gate is called the gate of the now. Contemplation is like, be here now. This is people whose intuitive awareness always ensures their survival, and people who can only see life in the present moment. Everything has to be now, which means part of what we're doing with this eclipse is we need to be fully here now and listen to the intuitive messages more than the head space, because the head's going to have questions and trying to figure it out and doubt and confusion and all this stuff. And it's like, what about this? What about that? Well, the answer actually lies in the deeper intuitive knowing. And this is what this channel means. This channel is here to ensure the survival of the individual who carries it. It is a spontaneous voice with incredible sharp intuition that arises so fast the brain cannot even comprehend it until afterwards, hence called the brain wave. It is an electrical impulse wave. It's crazy that this is Uranus, you guys, that begins in the lymphatic system and registers almost instantly in the brain. These people can intuitively adapt to any circumstance without thinking about how they do it. They are the world's greatest improvisers as long as they can overcome their fear of the unknown. No matter how quickly they can intuit an answer, these people must wait to be invited to release their wisdom, because it's a projected channel. If they blurt it out, they're usually vehemently resisted or deeply misunderstood. So part of how I'm reading this is that one of the gifts that we have during this eclipse is deep inner knowing that comes so quickly, like a flash of inspiration, Uranus inspiration. And I say Uranus inspiration because he's right there on this channel, that guides our action. But the head is going to be like talking, thinking, trying to understand all over and over. It's nonstop. And then all of a sudden, boom. So you don't want to miss the deep intuitive hits that will be coming to you, because it's within that deeper knowing. It's like teaching us to know ourselves deeply or deeper. In that deeper knowing is where the answer is. And then it's like almost like having splenic authority for a moment, you know, honestly, because this would be, this chart without a design technically, is a projector basically, but let's not get into that. That'll confuse people. But basically it's like, yeah, the spleen, it would be our authority during this eclipse. We need to listen to our spleen. It knows, and it knows without thinking. You don't have to think about it twice. So that is what I wanted to share about, the human design lens, which I think is very interesting. So now let's actually take a look at some of the gene key information. So the actual eclipse is happening on the 63rd, which goes from doubt to inquiry to truth. Richard Rudd says, the 63rd city exists already. It has existed forever. We already know and are truth. After completion, the truth will stand revealed for us all to see. This is the only truth there is. At the same time, we're moving through a hall of mirrors as we witness the unraveling of truth. This jinki is literally called reaching the source. Like, excuse me? Truth. And the codon ring of divinity. And it's the second to last, right? The last jinki is the 64th. From confusion to imagination to illumination. The 64th jinki, along with its programming partner, the 63rd, are such an extraordinary pairing. The whole I Ching can be reduced down to 4 jinkis, the 1, the 2, and the 63 and the 64. These are the bookends, which mystically contain all other jinkis. This one is called the Aurora, and is part of the Ring of Alchemy. But what is so significant about the Ring of Divinity? Because these codon rings tell us the story that is being told right now. We're seeing like a chapter of the story with this eclipse on the 63rd, but what story is this jinki a part of? Divinity. Deeply connected to the true meaning of the Christ consciousness, the Ring of Divinity and its 4 genetic archetypes have the capacity to awaken the highest consciousness inside you and will bring the eventual manifestation of the full divine being into the world. The Ring of Divinity reveals one great truth. That's the 63rd. That's where this eclipse is. Reveals a great truth. All humans are made equal in the suffering, the 37th. Doubt makes us human, the 36th, and leads us to a certain graciousness, the 62nd, in respect to how we treat others. Because of its connection to the 62nd jinki, this codon ring has much to do with the transformation of human awareness through suffering. It will bring intense emotional experiences and challenges to our life, but ultimately this codon group is about redemption. And the other thing is that the 63rd is one of the 7 sacred seals. And so is the 22nd. But like, this eclipse is happening on one of the sacred seals, which is crazy. So let us go a little bit further into this exploration of this 63rd jinki and read about what does it mean to reach the source and what ultimately is the city of truth. So we're going to read straight from the book. Truth is every step of the way. The gift of inquiry, symbolized by the path of yoga, has a deep shock in store for those who are drawn to it. In the original Chinese I Ching, the 2 hexagrams corresponding to the 63rd and 64th jinkis have very revealing names. The 63rd is called after completion, and the 64th is called before completion. You might think that these names were the wrong way around, since the 63rd obviously comes before the 64th in its original sequence. However, all you will find here at the end of the I Ching is paradox, poetry, and puzzlement. We're entering the territory of truth with a capital T. No matter how elevated a person's awareness becomes, or how advanced the yogic discipline is, until they reach the Siddhic realm, they will never realize the ultimate paradox that is truth. The only way to arrive at such a state is to reach a position of inner surrender. After all your efforts and exertions to find truth, you must eventually become one with your own doubt. This is the shock of the 63rd city, that doubt is truth. This is a deep letdown for your questing spirit. It is the ultimate state of failure and dejection. If logic is allowed to free reign, it will always cancel out logic and conquer itself. In this sense, all yoga can only ever lead to tantra. This does not in any way negate the value of the spirit of inquiry that propels the seeker of truth. All male paths must eventually lead to the ocean of the feminine. The more logic is followed, the more mysterious and poetic it seems to become, until it reaches the impasse that logic cannot move beyond. Logic and its human counterpart, doubt, are designed to self-destruct, taking you, the observer, with them. When doubt is trusted at such a profound level, and the doubter disappears into the doubt, leaving truth. However, there is no sequential process to this. Truth is there all along within the doubt. It is simply waiting to be realized, like a pearl within an oyster. It needn't be priced out, but simply recognized. If you follow a sequential and linear path that ends in this recognition or enlightenment, the path itself has no bearing on the enlightenment, even though it appears to. Truth is realized in many different ways. The other side of the city is the 64th of illumination, which arrives at the same conclusion, but in a totally different way, through the poetics of randomness. If you enjoy the logical path of progression, then that is your way. In many respects, it feels a safer route for human beings since it gives you the feeling that you can prepare for truth. Few are those who are drawn to the left-hand path of the right brain, where there are no maps or charts to follow other than the confusion of life itself. The yogic path to truth is a beautifully clipped garden in comparison to the wild jungles of the 64th city. The 63rd shadow of doubt is the path of eventual exhaustion. Like the Buddha, you must study, discipline yourself, climb, and exert yourself to get to the top, only to realize that the answer was there all along, even before you began. The city of truth is everywhere. There is nothing that is not truth. Whatever happens to you, whatever you feel in every moment, however delirious or disturbing, it is nothing but truth. At the gift frequency, the shadow frequency, there is nothing but truth. At the gift frequency, there is nothing but truth. Truth is every step of the way. This book of the 64 Jinkies is a yogic voyage into every conceivable archetype within human consciousness, drawing together past, present, and future. It is an exploration driven by doubt, by the need to question every facet of existence, fixed in every nook and cranny of our DNA. It is the very emblem of the human urge to understand our true nature. And yet, from the point of view of truth, this book is a failure. It cannot be anything else. All attempts at understanding are doomed to fail. If you read through each and every one of the 64 cities, you will see the scope of this failure. Every city encapsulates the same paradox, tilted at a slightly different linguistic angle. There are no answers to doubt. There are only patterns and the illusion of one looking at the patterns. At every stage and in every word, there is truth. This realization that everything is truth is well represented by the I Ching name, after completion. The realization of truth involves a complete relaxation of your entire being. The quest is at an end because the quest has deleted the questioner. The doubter has entered into the question so fully that the question has swallowed his or her awareness. All paths to truth are therefore a complete fabrication. All techniques, only distractions, and all systems and concepts are ultimately worthless. These are unhappy words for the seeker who still remains identified with his or her search. But even that is truth. There is no such thing as distorted truth or hidden truth. Truth is simply here, now, in every moment, at every stage of your life. It is eternal, undying, pure, incorruptible, and so beautifully simple. Truth really is the most precious and beautiful of the cities in its human expression because of its vast relaxedness. It is like resting under a tree on a warm, balmy evening after walking all day long. You gaze out at the sun setting into the sea, or the wind nestling into the leaves at your feet, or the stream purling softly over time-lapped rocks. With truth, the inner journey, the attempt to follow the doubt right back up to its source high in the mountain and moors comes to an end. Whenever you give yourself rest from worrying, you are treading around the fringes of remembering truth. Whenever you smile or breathe a deep sigh, there, you are coming closer to truth. Whenever your face loses its hard edges and becomes softer, the truth is being remembered. Truth is your natural state, your simple state, without complexity or concern. It is a drifting space, a total sinking into your being. As you may see from the true ending of this book written in your genes, it has no need of meaning and no concern for or possibly of an answer. In a single sentence, truth is the eternal moment of the universe. Well, I love this. At the shadow frequency, there is nothing but truth. At the gift frequency, there is nothing but truth. Truth is every step of the way. That's why there's no getting there. You're never going to get there. It's always here. All right, Pisces Eclipse. Sent us for a little riddle there. But actually, I like this. That was cool to read that one because it's my radiance. It's what keeps me healthy. So, to me, this is like, what keeps me healthy is like, stop trying so hard to find the answers and just be with the questions. Like that relaxed space of truth. Just be it. Just be. Just be. That's what the message is. Be. I like that. Well, thank you all so much for being here. I hope you enjoyed that broadcast, that information. And here we go. It's an interesting one. It's a cool one. I like it. It's different. It's not just like, it's not easy to understand, and that's okay. That's exactly what it is. It's like, stop trying to figure it out, I think is the deeper lesson behind all of it. So we'll see how we do on the other side. But we will gather together here on Sunday night, 6 p.m. Pacific, 9 p.m. Eastern, to do an Akashic reading with the tarot, the oracle cards, channeled messages for us from this eclipse. And then, of course, I'll play and sing my songs, or maybe some cover songs, and we'll just kind of be together and hold space for this eclipse. Thank you so much for being a part of this community, and come join us in the free class. Our next class is next Tuesday. Our first class was amazing. The replay is available now. So if you're signed up, go watch the replay if you didn't get to watch it yet. And yes, we have over 100 people in the class. It's nuts, but it's time. So we're going to keep revealing some magical things. And I hope you guys have an awesome and amazing total full moon lunar eclipse in Pisces. I will see you Sunday. Satnam.